to satisfy, to scratch that itch. Just put an itch right here on the back where the person can't scratch it. And he'll go and he'll find this stick and he'll scratch it. Make somebody curious about something and they'll do whatever it takes. That's why, you ever seen a movie trailer? Come on, guys. It's a safe zone. It's a safe space. Ever seen a movie trailer?
Yes.
Something. Alright? So, in a movie trailer, what do they do? In a movie trailer, they show someone, they show a dude, he's running as fast as he can towards a cliff, towards the edge of the mountain. Boom. Full, all-out sprint. Running as fast as he can towards the edge of the mountain. And as soon as he reaches the edge of the mountain, he launches himself into the air. And now when you're right on the edge and you're looking and you're watching what's going to happen, and it says, December 18th. Right? That's what happens in a movie trailer, right? Now when December the 18th comes, what are you going to do? You're going to stand in line, you're going to pay $8 to watch what probably is going to turn out to be a terrible, terrible movie. A complete waste of time and money. Right? Like even in terms of being a movie, it wasn't even good. Right? But what made you want to do that? I got to find out what happens to this guy. I got to find out whether he gets across or not. Right? I got to find out what happens at the end. That's like human curiosity. Before we discovered it, of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us, He knew we had this in us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلِعَبْدِي مَا سَأَلَ. Guaranteed for my slave is guaranteed. Imagine Allah guaranteeing something. It is guaranteed for my slave that he'll get whatever he's asked for. You say, what? Then again, guaranteed for my slave that he'll get whatever he's asked for. Then you say, what? And then finally when you reach here, you realize it's guidance. SubhanAllah. Unlike the other, the suspense that you get in this world, and it's not very gratifying when you finally get it. The suspense that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala led you along on, it was so gratifying. There's nothing greater, more amazing waiting for you at the end of that. Allah drew you in so that He could lead you to that answer at the end, and that's guidance. Have that guaranteed for my Savior's guidance, and guaranteed for my Savior's whatever He's asked for. If He asks for guidance, He'll get it. وَيَهْدِي إِلَيْهِ مَنْ أَنَابَ. Somebody who turns back and goes to Allah, seeking an answer, seeking Allah, Allah will guide that person. Allah will guide that person. So that's the conclusion of the conversation. Now, before we completely formally conclude the conversation, there were a couple of things that I pointed out, but I just want you to hold on to. I didn't really answer, I didn't explain it. That first line, very deep. Two words that I really want to point out. The one that's underlined and the one that's highlighted. The first word that's underlined is Salah. What does Salah mean, everyone? Prayer. So I told you that this first line, it means Allah is saying, I have divided the prayer between me and my slave. The rest of the hadith goes on to talk about what? What does the rest of the hadith specifically talk about? Surah Al-Fatiha. Talks about Surah Al-Fatiha. But he said, I have divided the prayer, and then goes on to talk about Surah Al-Fatiha. It's not connecting, it's not adding up. There's some inconsistency. Remember that principle that we learned in the very beginning? Sometimes you refer to a part of something by giving it the name of the whole. When my transmission of my car is busted, and I call you for a ride, I tell you my car is busted. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refers to Surah Al-Fatiha as as-salah, because Surah Al-Fatiha is the essence and the core of salah. You know, the Prophet ﷺ said something very profound. We know it has a fiqh application, but we never fully understood it. The Prophet ﷺ said, "La salata liman lam yaqra bi Fatihatil kitab." There is no salah for the one who didn't read Surah Al-Fatiha. We never fully understood that. Because part of what the Prophet ﷺ was saying was, what is the point of praying when you didn't read Surah Al-Fatiha? Because if you prayed and you didn't read Surah Al-Fatiha, you missed out on the most amazing conversation of your life. You didn't talk to Allah. What's the point of praying if you didn't even talk to God? If you missed out on this opportunity to directly engage in a direct conversation with Allah. So that's why Allah refers to here Surah Al-Fatiha as Salah, because Surah Al-Fatiha is the essence and the core and the spirit of the prayer. And that's why I always choose to do Surah Al-Fatiha first on Friday night, because it will give you the full perspective, the juice, the engine, the reason why we're here, the core, the essence. Alright? The next thing is nisfain. I told you, and I kind of emphasize this point, I told you nisfain doesn't just mean two halves, it means what? Two equal halves. You remember that? Two equal halves. Alright? Now let's take a look at this. Here's the entire Surah Al-Fatiha written down. Here's the entire Surah Al-Fatiha split up into two parts. Alright? The first part is Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. The first part of Surah Al-Fatiha is split up into two parts, conceptually, thematically. The first part of Surah Al-Fatiha is for Allah. We praise and we glorify Allah, and then we state what is the dynamic of our relationship with Allah, what we present before Allah. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. The second part of Surah Al-Fatiha is Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim, Siratal Ladina An'amta Alayhim, Ghayril Maghdubi Alayhim Waladdallin. Alright? That's for us. First part we offer to Allah, second part we're asking from Allah. Guide us to the straight path. The path of those people whom you have showered your blessings upon, not the path of those people who have wrought anger on themselves, nor the path of those people who are lost, astray. Okay? First part's for Allah, second part's for us. So conceptually, thematically, topic-wise, Surah Al-Fatiha has two parts. But when Allah says two equal halves, He doesn't just mean in terms of theme or concept or figuratively, Surah Al-Fatiha has two parts. When Allah says two equal halves, He literally means two equal halves. From the Alif al-Hamdu to the Nun al-Nasta'in, there are 63 letters. How many, everyone? 63 letters. Anyone want to guess how many letters are from the Alif al-Ihdina to the Nun al-Waladdallin? 63. Exactly 63 letters. Right where the topic divides, the exact number of letters divides. That is the perfection and the symmetry of Allah's kalam. Nobody can duplicate this, nobody can replicate this. You know, part of the reason why I share this is you understand what a treasure we possess. What an amazing treasure Allah has given to us. Just Surah Al-Fatiha is such a treasure. It's perfection. It's a kalam of Allah. We have it. We enjoy it, we read it, we recite it. Now we need to understand it, we need to taste it and savor it. Reflect on it, ponder on it. Alright? I always like to end the session on Friday night by kind of bringing everything full circle. A couple of thoughts and reflections based off of what we learned tonight. The direct conversation between us and Allah. You know, the first thing is something to think about. The more somebody rises in status, whether it be fame, whether it be money, whether it be, power, influence, as somebody rises in status, they tend to become less and less accessible. Would you agree? Typically? Right? Let's use politicians as an example. They're always an easy target. Alright? So, especially when they're the type of politicians we have. Alright? So, okay, imagine you have a city councilman. Ames, Iowa city councilman. Is he pretty easy to kind of get in touch with and meet with? Pretty easy. Sometimes they're even very willing to meet with you if you represent a specific interest or a specific part of the community. They'll go out of their way to come to meet with you. I have city councilmen harassing like imams and all of us all the time. Alright? So very easy to meet with. A couple of years down this road, this very talented, charismatic city councilman becomes the mayor of your city. Is he a little bit more difficult to get in touch with now? Obviously. A couple more years down the road, this very charismatic mayor becomes the governor of Iowa. Is he a little bit more harder to get in touch with? Very good. You knew him way back when, and you had a regular relationship with him. So maybe 6 months in advance and knowing a few inside hookups, you might be able to get a couple of minutes of his time. A few more years down the road, this governor of Iowa becomes the president of the United States of America. Can you meet with him now? As a Muslim, absolutely not. keeping it real, all right? Let's be honest. All right? Absolutely not. Forget about it. All right? No way. Guy's completely just, I mean, he's out of touch now. Right? He's untouchable. He's unattainable now. So, as somebody rises in status, they become less and less accessible. Except for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who is more powerful? Who is more independent? Who is more greater than Allah? No one. Nothing. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the most powerful. Yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so accessible, so available, so accessible to us, that anytime you want to have a direct one-on-one conversation with Allah, all you got to do is make wudu, face the qibla and say Allah. And you are enjoying a direct conversation with Allah. You. So that's the opportunity that is available to us. If we don't avail the opportunity, we only have ourselves to blame. And that leads me to the second point. If you are praying, then there will be nothing more tragic than to show up on the Day of Judgment. And having prayed 20, 30, 40, 50 years of your life, you prayed regularly. Only to realize that you prayed for 50 years, but not once did you experience Salah. Did you experience a conversation with Allah? Quality. And that's what we're here to fix. That's what we have to fix. That's what's no longer an option. No, I can't put it off anymore. How much more time will go by? And how much more time do I confidently know I have? We don't. We don't understand we have. But I will continue to put this off. And that's why I always tell brothers and sisters, I always tell them, ask yourself one question. If you need even a little bit of motivation, like, yeah, mashallah, tonight was nice, it was good, alhamdulillah, jazakallah, subhanallah, right? But tomorrow it's kind of cold, and I was thinking about doing this, and I really had to do the laundry, Like, if you need a little bit of motivation, don't take that motivation from me, don't take it from anywhere else. Ask yourself one question. Make it about the material, make it about the subject. There's nothing to do with me. Ask yourself one question. Don't ask yourself when was the last time you prayed, or you offered the prayer, or you performed Salah. That word always cracks me up, performing Salah. It's like, what does that even mean? Ask yourself the question, when was the last time you experienced Salah? When was the last time when you prayed you felt it changed your life, it changed your perspective on something? When was the last time that you had a problem and you prayed and it fixed your problem? It gave you a solution, it solved your problem. Fixed your issue. When was the last time? And if you ask yourself that question and you don't like the answer, maybe the answer is never. Maybe the answer you don't remember. If you don't like the answer that you get internally, then we got to do something about that. And here's the opportunity to do something about that. Take the course. It's one weekend. It's not even a complete weekend of your time. Tomorrow morning we're going to start at 10 a.m. We'll have a lunch break in between. All right? Obviously we'll break for Salah. That'd be pretty ironic, right? Of course, for Salah, no breaks for Salah. And and when we break for Salah, we just don't break for Salah, right? And it's like, right? So we're going to have breaks for prayer. We're going to take an extended lunch break. We're going to take a couple of breaks in between. So just so you can regain consciousness, right? So it's going to be very chill and relaxed. And by 6 p.m. we'll be done. 6:30 p.m. we'll be done. We'll be gone out of here. So you have your evening to yourself. Sunday we start again at 10 a.m. We'll be done by 4:30 p.m. That's it. So it's not even a complete weekend. It's just a few hours, it's about 10, 12 hours of your time. But to invest 10, 12 hours to improve, to fix, to better your relationship with Allah, to experience Salah, it's a bargain, folks. And normally we have like some little tuition attached to the course. Not for aims. That's a VIP status. Baller status. Like rich people, I don't know who is telling you this is ridiculous. There's something like really, really rich people, they don't even carry like a wallet, they don't even carry money. That's like a sign that you're really, really rich, right? So it's like Ames, Iowa people, they're baller status, right? So, but no, honestly, it's not even me, it's not even Beta, it's Allah taking the excuse away from you. You have absolutely no excuse now. No, it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taking the excuse away. Just come and just invest your time to sit and learn. And on that note, the last thing that I'll share with you tonight, before I send you all home for the night, inshallah, is 2 words. You know, alhamdulillah, I had the opportunity to go overseas and study for a very, very long time. I was studying overseas for about 10 years. But day 1, lesson 1. What I want to share with you is day 1, lesson 1. The first day I went to go study overseas. First day I went to go study overseas. After high school, after graduating high school, serious studies. First day in class, lesson 1, the very first hour of the first day of my whole journey of studies, my teacher got up, went up to the board, there obviously was a screen, went up to the board, and wrote these 2 words on the board. So what does it say? Now we were all hufad of the Quran, we had memorized Quran so we could read Arabic. Ilmun, amal. First word is ilmun, second word is amalun. Ilmun means knowledge, amalun means action, practice, to implement the knowledge. Action, act on it. He said now, he told us something about the history of the language. He said, you know, the ancient Arabs were deep people, they were very profound. Very deep. Right? And especially the words that, you know, the first words, the original words, the jumud, right? Jamid is the original word. So the jumud, the original words that they gave, they put a lot of thought into these types of words. And the sound, and the enunciation, everything was thought about. So he said the word ilmun. He said, look at these 2 words. And by the way, if you notice that it's the same letters just switched around, that's not a coincidence, by the way. That's not a coincidence. Secondly, he said that these little markings that are on top of and underneath the word, Fatiha, Dhamma, Kasra, Zabar, Zir, Pesh, whatever it is that you call it, what are these markings called together? What are they referred to as?
Harakat.
Harakat. Tashkeel is the actual act of putting it, but they're called harakat themselves. Harakat is the plural of the word haraka. What does haraka mean literally in Arabic? Movement. Haraka means movement. Haraka, movement. Alright, that's literally what it means. Why is it called that? Because it gives movement to the sound of the letter. Ain. It gives movement to the sound of the letter. So these are all called harakat except for this little guy right here. This little guy right here. What is that little guy called? Sukoon. What is it called? What does sukoon mean? When your kids go to sleep at night. Right? Those who have little kids know exactly what I'm talking about. Alright? What does sukoon mean? Sukoon is the absence of movement. Sukoon is the absence of movement. Sukoon. Right? And that's called that because it stops the sound of that letter. It doesn't give movement to it. He said, notice this. The word for knowledge, ilm, the Arabs put a sukoon right in the middle of the word. The Arabs put a sukoon right in the middle of the word. And they built this reflection into the word that to get knowledge, you have to have an absence of movement. You got to take a break. You got to give knowledge time. You got to come and sit yourself down and take knowledge. You can't keep running around. You'll pick up little tidbits here and there, but if you want serious knowledge, you got to take some time out. But once you get that knowledge, then what do you do? Look at the word amalun. Amalun. Then what do you do? Go. Then you go out there and you live life and you implement that knowledge. And just go. But to get the knowledge every now and then, you got to stop, you got to take out time, and you got to dedicate yourself to getting knowledge. That's what I'm asking you to do for 1 week. A few hours of your time, a dozen or so hours, to drastically, inshallah, improve the condition of our prayer, the condition of our salah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to pray properly. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the reality of the salah. Allah SWT allow us to truly experience our salah and prayer. And may Allah SWT